So the Pacific Nations Cup continues, and this weekend we get to see Japan take on Tonga, both sides picking up losses in the first round. But the beauty of this competition is there's still 2 rounds to go. Whoever wins this will certainly be building the momentum. We will start with looking through at the home side, Japan. Their starting lineup is going to be as follows. At number 1, it is Kita Inagaki. Number 2, it is Atsushi Sakate. And then at number 3, Aseli Vailu. Now, he did come off the bench in the game up against the All Blacks XV. We didn't see him last week in the Samoan matchup. A very dangerous player to have in the starting side. In the lock-in duo, they've made a little bit of a change. It will be Fakatava transitioning from 5 that he did play last week. Instead now finds himself at number 4 and then number 5. The man who came off the bench, it is Uehilu. And these two could be a very dangerous combination up against the Tongans, although they've got a couple big boys themselves, including one last week who was able to score himself a try. So matching up with Fakatava quite nicely, as for me, he was the pick of the players out there on the field for Japan, making running meters, scoring himself that early try, and just any time he got those legs driving, it was extremely hard to stop. Looking through at the loose board trio, it will once again be Jack Cornelsen starting at number 6. Number 7, it is Ben Gunter. And then at number 8, to close out the 4-pack, it is the co-captain, Nkazuki Himeno. But now looking through at the backline, number 9, it is Naoto Saito. Number 10, they have stuck with Seonson Lee, who did do very well last week in the kicking aspect of that game up against Samoa. Did manage to get 100% kicking accuracy. We'll be hoping for that this week as well. And number 11, Samesi Masiriwa. He didn't play in the last game, but going to be exciting. See what he can do here. Number 12, they have gone with Osada, with number 13 being Dylan Riley. So that same combination as they did have last week in the game up against the Samoans. Number 14, the man who played left wing last game, it is going to be Naikabura. So he did actually start at number 11 up against Samoa, now playing number 14 in this one. And then at number 15, to close out the side for Japan, it is Ryohei Yamanaka. But that is the starting side for Japan. Now looking through at the bench, they are going to be as follows. Number 16, it is Shota Hori. Number 17, Craig Miller. And then number 18, Jiwon Gu. At number 19, they've got James Moore, the man who was on the starting side for last week's fixture. And number 20, Tavita Tatafu. Number 21, Yutaka Nagare. He is also the other co-captain. Number 22, Rikia Matsuda. And then at number 23, to close out this Japanese side, it is going to be Kotaro Matsushima. But that is the starting lineup and reserves for the home side. Very close game up against the Samoans. They will want to walk away with a victory here, but they are up against the Tongans. Did very well in that game up against Fiji. They didn't have the best start, actually going 19-0 down, but managing to bring it right back up until the final few moments when they did end up conceding a few points. But looking through at their starting side, there are a few changes from what they did have in that last game up against Fiji. Still looking very strong. Number 1, Serge Fred Fesiahoy. Number 2, they have gone with Sam Mully. And then number 3, it has been Tamefuna. Looking at the locks, Halaleva Fafita starting at number 4. He managed to score himself a try last week in the game up against the Flying Fijians. And the rolling maul of Tonga was looking very strong throughout that fixture. So I'm sure that's something they will try and make work up against Japan here. For the Japanese, their handling was just letting them down a bit too much in that game. This one, I believe, could be a very close fixture. Number 5 will be Sitavini Mafi. Did come off the bench in the last game, now getting himself the start. A little bit similar to what we saw for Japan in terms of that new combination getting to take place in the lock-in duo. Although Tonga, for their lineouts, I believe they were only sitting at about 50% won throughout their game up against Fiji. So maybe that is why we've seen Sam Mully also added in to the starting side. The loose ball trio will be Via Fafita at number 6. Number 7, Sione Havili Talatui. I'm excited to see that man in action. He's a brilliant player for the Crusaders. I believe he will be able to match it at international level for Tonga. And then at number 8, they have got Lopeti Tamani, the last man in that strong Tongan 4-pack. Looking through at the backline, Sonatane Takalua keeps his spot as the number 9 and the captain for this game, although number 10, they have made a change. It is William Havili rather than Malsia, who will be coming off the bench a little bit later on in this game. Out on the left wing, they have gone with Kieran Tumafalau. He managed to score himself a try in last week's game. Looks strong, only recently coming from the 7 circuit. It's going to be great to see him in action once more in the centre combination. They've actually made a bit of a change. It will be Peter Aki at number 12, and then at number 13, Afusipa Taumapo. Now, he played very well in the last week's fixture. They have got rid of Malakai Fekatoa out of that combination. But Peter Aki, very good player, runs the ball hard, which is exactly what Tonga will want. Up against the Japanese, number 14, it is Solomoni Kata. And then to close out the starting lineup, once again, they have gone with Charles Piatau. But now looking through at the reserves, number 16, Paula Naomu, number 17, Fiao Fotuaika, and then number 18, David Lorohia, number 19, Tanginoa Halaifanua, number 21, Solomoni Funaki. So he actually had to start last week, but instead will be an impact player for this game. Number 21, Manu Paia. Number 22, I mentioned him a little bit earlier on, Otomaka Mausia. And then at number 23 to close out the side will be George Moala. But this is going to be an entertaining fixture. The slightly sad news is I believe it overlaps with the game that has taken place between the All Blacks and the Wallabies. So we may not be able to do the live commentary. If the game is at a different time though, we will be sure to provide that live commentary also. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Do let me know what you think of the starting lineup and reserves for these two sides and who you think will be walking away with the victory. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.